welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports, and I want to welcome a guest co-host to the show. Second time you've been in Maine, you said?
Yes, yes.
Never been to this part of Maine, but her name is Debbie Pastrana, and I want to welcome you to Mainly Motorsports.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here, Steve.
You guys all recognize the name Pastrana. No, it's not her, but we will let her tell you about her one forte into doing a motorcycle backflip. But Debbie happens to be the mom of Travis Pastrana, and we thought it'd be neat. She was up in the area to get her on and talk a little bit about the foundation she's involved in, and we will hear about Travis and what it was like to be the mom of Travis, because I can imagine all you moms out there that watch Mainly Motorsports and think you got it bad because little Leroy's climbing an 8-foot tree. You can imagine what Debbie went through, but you're up here in Maine to promote your foundation that you do a lot of work for.
Yes.
And talk a little bit about the foundation and the name of it.
Okay, Agape Children's Connection, and it's based on, we have kids and orphans in India. There are over 25,000 children in India that are orphaned, and so we go over and we try to raise money through different avenues and for their education, clothing, shelter, just being safe, food obviously, and so that's our main purpose.
Working with orphans, and you know, as any person that usually gets involved in any type of charitable work or foundation, it's because it's usually close to their heart. And for you, your dad was an orphan.
My dad was an orphan. He's from Germany, and he came over here with his mom and his dad died right after that, and then his mom couldn't take care of him anymore, so she gave him up. And unfortunately, it was during the war, so he was German, so in a U.S. orphanage, which is not a good thing at that point in time. So he was beat up. He had a lot of rough stories.
Well, yeah, and I can imagine, and you know, anybody that's watched the movie Annie, and I mean, I'm
Right.
sure a little bit different scenario there, but you know, obviously the ending, but
Sure.
you know, he worked through it. You know, I was reading the story about how he had a wagon, and he'd take his wagon around and he would deliver groceries for people for 5 cents.
For a
you know?
nickel, sure,
So,
yes.
you know, he was a young entrepreneur, and
Yes.
you know, obviously he worked through it, and you know, turned into a very successful life. And the offspring, yourself, you know, saw value in what he did, and you know, now you're trying to give back.
Right. Unfortunately, he passed before I started the foundation, but Agape, our picture is of him when he was 5 years old. He was on a wagon, so, or excuse me, he was on a horse.
A horse,
he was on
yeah.
a horse, yeah. So we were able to crop that and put it on.
No, and it's pretty neat. And one of the, you know, as you started the foundation, you were already involved in, you know, charitable things and doing things, and you got to go over and see the tsunami that hit on Christmas Day 2005 firsthand.
Right, yeah. So the tsunami hit, which was just devastating. So they wouldn't let people, the average person, just go in to help until we were able to get in March. So I went over in March with a group of people, and we went and we watched. It was just devastating. I mean, there was one lady that was telling us through translator that she had her 2-year-old on her hand and her infant in her arms, and when the water came, her child, her 2-year-old, was just washed away, and she's never seen that child again,
Yeah.
obviously. And they ended in a tree. And since most people were fishermen down there, we were like, the water is just beautiful down there. So we were like getting in the water, like, no, don't get in the water, you know, because they were afraid. And so what happened is they're Hindus, so most of them are Hindus, so they're gods. They have, you know, over 3,000 gods, and one of them was this, I guess, fish god. So they thought that since the water had gone out for so many miles and they saw all these beautiful fish, and they walked out to get them, to retrieve these fish, and that's when the water came back in, and then that's what was just devastating. It just wiped out everybody.
We obviously were all mesmerized by it by watching the news, but I can't imagine that we were seeing everything and what happened firsthand and what you witnessed, and you know, just amazing to be a part of, and in the cleanup efforts, and I'm sure it's still going on to this day.
It is still going on, and just how many people were, there's over 25,000 orphans in India anyway. It's such an impoverished country, and but for them, once the tsunami hit, people were dispersed everywhere, and children were left with nobody. It was just very, very heartbreaking, and as a mom, it was just crushing even more.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And now the foundation, and you started it right about a couple of years after that, right?
I did. I befriended a pastor that was actually helping us during the time when we were down there to get us situated where we were, and he had an orphanage. And a couple years into it, we've always kept in touch, and a couple years into it is when he needed support and he wanted to grow his orphanage. So I thought, you know what, this would be a good thing to do. So God led. I went and pursued, and it's been very rewarding. We have 200 orphans, and we also help 300 lepers.
Yeah, so, you reach out and, looking for donations, always from, and I was looking at that and like, it's amazing. We as Americans, $35 we take for granted. What $35 a year will do for somebody,
Well, it's tremendous. I mean, we do $30 a month, actually, and that's for their food, clothing, education, and a safe place. We have kids in the orphanage that have been trampled by elephants, herds of elephants that come to destroy their village. A lot of them are from very poor families that leave them abandoned. And if I tell you, a year and a half ago when I was there, we got a 5-year-old, and this is devastating, a 5-year-old little girl was on the streets for sex trafficking, and we got her off. And it's really, it's just very devastating. Over 1.5 million children are in the sex trade there, not because they want to be, believe me, and
Yeah.
it's just very heartbreaking to see that. So that's a purpose, and we get them educated. 50% of the girls in India are not educated. They're not in school because they have them in one trade or another, which is not good, living on the street. So our purpose is to get them, and I know 200 doesn't even touch the, 25 million, but it's one. And if I may say something, and just, we have poverty in this country, and we see it, but we're in the top 10% of the financial end of the world here in our country. So we're really blessed to be here in this country. In third world, whether it be India, Africa, wherever you're talking about, these children really need our help, and it's hard. They're like, well, we don't want it. And that's where our funds are really hard to get, because people are like, well, we have poverty here, we want to help these children here, and I am all for that. But and I do help. We do outreaches where we help kids in this country. But here's the thing: every kid in this country is entitled to education, food, shelter, and clothing. Every child.
Yeah.
In these third world countries, if the outsiders don't help, they don't get it. And it's very sad.
Yeah, and one thing, and I don't, obviously not up on it like you are, but I do think a lot of our poverty problems here are self-inflicted.
A lot of them
Are from the parenting, or,
Right.
you know what I mean? And, I don't, obviously we're a race car show and that, but, something came to me a couple weeks ago, and it was kind of, I was just driving down the road and I got thinking, I go, one of the biggest honors and privileges, and I think of in a lifetime, is the fact that you can become a parent,
Right.
And there are people that just take that for granted and do that, but then they don't know the first thing about parenting.
Right.
And that's the difference, I think, from our country, whereas it is self-inflicted, where just a bad parent can cause those situations, whereas in those countries there's just no money, there's just nothing.
No, there's not. And unfortunately, though, the richest person in the world is from India, but they don't seem to take care of their own.
Yeah.
And I know it's like, some people say, well, if they don't care, then why should we care? Well, it's still a child. And it's still a child that doesn't have a chance. Our children here have a chance, and they need to be, every child needs to have a chance.
Yeah, you're right. So, we thank you. I know this past weekend, the show's airing tonight, and then you've already gone to Wiscasset, and you had a little fundraising over there, and hopefully that all went well for you. And, anybody gets a chance, really go out and check out agapechildrensconnection.org and just see what they are. You can see a picture of Ray on the horse, and
Yes,
that's
my
where it all
dad.
started. And I really I applaud your efforts. And we're going to take a break. We come back, we want to hear about what it's like to be the mom of Travis Pastrana. So
Okay, great.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back here on Mainely Motorsports.
Thank you.
Everyone knows Scott's Recreation sells RVs and campers, but did you know Scott's Recreation is becoming one of New England's largest trailer dealers too? Over 600 units sold since January 1st. Everything from snowmobile trailers to enclosed cargo trailers to open utility trailers to equipment trailers to dump trailers and more. And now Scott's Recreation is stocking 2, 3, and 4-horse trailers featuring aluminum models made right here in Maine. Get more details online. Scott's Recreation, Route 4 Turner, Route 202 Manchester, Maine.
Don't let the other guys rough you up. Shop online at otmotorsales.com.
Clark's Eastside Scrap and Westside Scrap, two of the region's most efficient scrap yards. Both locations have the latest and greatest equipment, along with large capacity scales that are constantly calibrated to ensure honest weights. Car crushing, roll-off containers, scrap metal. Clark's Eastside Scrap in Chelsea and Clark's Westside Scrap in Farmingdale. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 7 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Portland, Sanford, Lewiston, and now South Portland. Visit us at moodyscollision.com.
Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, Route 1 Saco.
Welcome to Mainly Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
We're back here on Mainly Motorsports, and are you known in the world as Debbie, or are you
Yes.
known as Travis's mom?
Yeah, that's right. Travis's mom. Always.
Travis's
You're right.
mom. And first off, when did you know you were in trouble? You know, when did you know that this kid was a daredevil?
Okay, so on the way home from the hospital, they didn't have car seats. We didn't have car seats, and we were a block away from the hospital, and we were rear-ended. So I should have, and he was in my arms, so I should have known right
You
then
should have
and there.
known, but
That's right.
you know, obviously he's done some very exciting things.
He has, and you know, he's real. He was so shy and so reserved, like almost backwards, and that's why he, when he was young, he loved monster trucks, and so we went to some venues there, and in the intermission they would have motorcycles. He's like, well, I want to do that. Well, he's all of 2 at the time.
Yep.
And he wanted to, so we're like, okay. So his dad said, if you ride your bicycle down a set of stairs, thinking that he would have the balance then, because he was riding a 2-wheeler then without training wheels, then we'll think about a motorcycle. So he turned 4 in October, which he did that. So he's like, okay, what now? He turned 4 in October, and Santa Claus brought him a bike for Christmas. And we have a clip of that, and I don't have it here, obviously. And he's unwrapping the motorcycle, and it was online, and somebody had said the biggest lie Travis ever told, because he said, he's looking at it, he says, I can't ride that thing, just so that gotcha accent. And so anyway, he just kind of took off from there, and then he says, we want to race. We said, you want to what? And we didn't know they had kids that raced at that point in time, and it was a 4 to 8. There weren't as many kids at that time, and so we started letting him race, and he just kind of took off. He raced for snow cones and back rubs. That's what he raced for.
Snow cones and back rubs.
Yeah.
So it's Santa Claus's fault.
Yeah.
But no, and then, so as it progresses, obviously, and then he starts doing some of the wild stuff. It goes beyond racing. I mean, did you see some of these things live, or did you have to see them on television after? Or?
Well, no, I was there with Travis, and how, because racing was his forte at the time, and so he would do little feet hands and all like that. But you have to understand, freestyle didn't evolve. He was at the very first freestyle competition worldwide, and it was in Las Vegas. He was only 14, and he won that. So he was doing freestyle before that, and we together, I'd say, Travis, why don't you try this or this? What was I thinking? I didn't know. But and that's how the cliffhanger. I named the cliffhanger, and he got the lazy boy and things like that. And those were the basic tricks that he did at the very first competition.
And then it proceeded.
Oh, it's come a long way, hasn't
the
it?
backflips and
double backs.
Yeah, and just crazy. Now, how much does he still do with this? I mean, does he realize he's older and doesn't heal as well?
He in January he's doing Nitro Tour now, and the Nitro Circus Tour, and in January they were doing U.S. and he broke on the third venue. He broke, and he was non-weight bearing for 12 weeks because he broke the opposite ankle that he hurt doing the 720. And so he had pins and plates on it. And he called me up and he says, Mom, if I was 10 years younger, I wouldn't have broke. And I'm like, well, that's telling you something, Travis. You're almost 31. So, you're like, but he still does, he does Nitro Tour, and he still rides on that. He doesn't have to do, he's got a lot of young people that are really, and they're a big family. That Nitro Tour their crew is a really
Yeah.
family oriented. So
So what were some of the scarier things that he did that every time he did it, you held your breath, closed your eyes, crossed your fingers, and prayed?
that's every time. Every time. I mean, prayer has really gotten me through that, and still, and people are like, are you still nervous? Yeah, I still get nervous for him. And now he's got a daughter.
Yeah.
And my granddaughter is 9 months old. She's been on water skis. She's been, on the skateboard. He's gone the mega ramp with him. They slid down it. So the double backflip was really scary because he said, Mom, I don't think I'm going to have to do it. I was standing right next to the judges, and he did his first trick, and they scored him like third or fourth, and I looked at them, and I'm like, that was better than the third or fourth, and they're like, no, that's what it was. And because I knew that they knew that if he didn't score well, Travis wasn't going to settle for that.
Oh yeah, he had it in his arsenal.
He did, and when I saw them start digging and moving things, that's when my heart just really sank, because I knew that that's what he was going to do.
Yeah.
And so that was a rock, paper, scissors thing. Him and Hubert, one of the guys that helps him with his bikes, they did rock, paper, scissors, and Travis lost or won, whatever you want to call it, and that's when he says, okay, I'm doing it, and so he had done it so many times in the pit, over and over, so he felt confident, but I wasn't too confident, and he hit it beautifully.
Yeah, but still, we pray.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I can't imagine, and I see, the past weekend I was over to a go-kart race, and, I see the moms, their kids are racing go-karts, and, and they're all strapped in with the helmets, some wear hands, and they got all the safety equipment. So, and I see the nervousness there. So I can't imagine when your son decides he's going to jump out of an airplane and they're going to come get him because he ain't got a parachute. You know?
I did tell him, I'm a pilot myself, and my husband is a pilot, and he had called my husband and said, would you fly me and do this? And so unbeknownst to me. And then my husband came to me, and he said, he told Travis, he said, Travis, something went wrong. I could not, your mother would kill me. And when I found out, I said, yeah, I would have killed him. So he went to Puerto Rico, and I said, Travis, just let me know when you land. So he called me right as he landed on the beach and said, yeah, everything's fine. He was so excited. So I was glad for him. I mean, I understand, even when Travis was really young, we knew that when he said, hey, this is what I want to do, people think doesn't calculate. Travis is very, very articulate and calculates everything. He's very, very bright. He hides it well. I was telling somebody that just recently that he used to race, since he was 13, he wrote a magazine article for Racer X, which he doesn't do now. And they said, Travis, you have to dummy this down. And not to say people weren't intelligent by any means.
But just make it,
make it more race friendly. Yeah, sure. So anyway, but you talk about a mom is a mom is a mom. People say, when are you? And not to take anything from dads, but you have to be tougher on the exterior, But moms, we can get away with a little bit more. But even Travis got hurt recently, and I found out. Unfortunately, I don't do Facebook, so I found out through people texting me or online, and I'm like, I was really upset. And I said, Travis, we need to talk when you come back in town. And so I sat down and I told him, I said, why didn't I know about this? This is very, he says, Mom, if I told you every time I got hurt, I would be on the phone with you all the time. And I said, this one put you in the hospital and you had surgery. And he says, Mom, I'm 30 years old. And I said, I don't care how old you are and how big and bad you think you are, I'm still your mother and you're still my kid. So he, I was in tears, and he was really upset for me, and he got it, he understood. Yeah. So he's like, I promise you I will let you know.
So any more injuries, you're going to hear about them?
Well, if they're major, I mean, if he stubs his toe, I don't need to know that.
No, you're right.
So, yeah.
But in saying it all, I mean, what a wild ride for you too, you know what I mean? And I mean, after it lands and everything, I mean, the raw emotion that comes out, and that's my boy, you know what I mean? And there's not many moms like you that can say, that's my boy.
No, I'm really proud of him, more so because he's a good person. He really has a big heart, and he's very humble. I talk about him, but
that's a mom's job.
Yeah, that's right. But he's really humble at that. But when he started doing the NASCAR and like this, people are like, are you nervous? And I'm like, I should be, I guess, but I'm really not, because he's so protected. On the motorcycle, you have nothing.
Yeah, look what you guys give him for protection. Why am I not nervous?
Exactly.
You're probably sitting there eating an ice cream going, this is nothing. Really? This is it?
Yeah. And like I've watched him hit the wall going very fast, close to 200 miles an hour. And I get nervous in the fact, wow, I hope the equipment, and a lot of guys unfortunately have had to pay the toll to get that equipment to where it is, but at least they learned from that, and that's important.
Yeah, no, you're right. But, I want to thank you for stopping by the studio on your trek to Maine. And
thank you.
Hopefully everything worked out for you at Wiscasset and, in the future and, something we can follow along with. And thank you for sharing with us about Travis. I mean,
Well,
it's just,
thank you.
I can't imagine, as a parent, I mean, I remember the first time you took the training wheels off and, what you feel like, and I hope they don't fall, I hope they don't fall. And here you are watching him saying, well, I hope he hits this, or his second backflip, or
Right.
his 269-foot jump with a rally car,
Right. Well, I have wrinkles, and I told him he owes me a facelift. He says, no, you earned them all, so
You earned them
no
all?
facelift.
But thank you, Debbie, for
Well,
stopping
thank you,
by.
Steve.
And,
I appreciate it.
Good luck with your, endeavor and the Agape Children's Connection. And I mean, it's just great what you're doing there. And
Thank you.
And hopefully Travis is able to open some doors for you there as well with his notoriety.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, and thank you.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back on Mainly Motorsports.
Award Champs LLC is Southern Maine's premier award supplier and official award supplier for many of the area's top organizations and events. If you're in need of an award for a sponsor, employee recognition, fundraising event, or an entire sports organization, call Todd Mead at Award Champ. They provide the best for less with competitive pricing like the big online firms, but give you the personalized service you can only get from a local supplier. When you're in need of awards or personalized gifts, call Award Champs, where they'll help you reward your champion.
Looking for a great time, great people, and great food? Then visit New England's #1 biker destination, Bentley's Saloon, owned by legendary supermodified driver Bentley Warren. Bentley's is a biker bar that welcomes everyone. Staying in the area, Bentley's has their own full-service campground right on site. Tuesdays, Bentley's Cruise Night attracts car enthusiasts from all over New England. Located on Route 1 in Arundel, Bentley's Saloon guarantees a great time. Check out the fun at BentleySaloon.com and see why Bentley says, who has more fun than us?
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
Welcome back to Mainly Motorsports, and probably the biggest thing that happened nationally for all of us up here in Maine this past weekend was our own Austin Terrio picking up the win over at Michigan International Speedway in the ARCA race last Friday. And on the phone we have Austin, and we'd like to welcome him back to Mainly Motorsports.
Hey, Steve. Good to be with you today.
Yeah, and wow. I mean, I know it does get bigger, but that's the national stage, Bob. That's racing on a big track in front of the big peers that you want to impress. And in your first ARCA race ever, putting it in victory lane. I mean, just explain how that feels.
Well, it's really exciting. I mean, obviously, many years ago, I really wouldn't have expected to be where I am right now, sitting here today. But like we've talked about, things have happened, and the right doors have opened, and I've tried to make the best of every opportunity. And likewise, this weekend, I felt really excited going into the ARCA race. I actually felt like I was going to approach this race a little different than what I'm normally been used to approaching. Usually I'm really pumped up and really excited. I go into approach every race as if I can win it. But this weekend I was just looking to gain some experience on the bigger tracks, because we all know I've only ever raced at Loudon, and that's the biggest track I've been to, which is a mile. So going from a mile to 2 miles, that's a pretty big jump in speeds, and you're dealing with the draft and side drafting, and you're dealing with a whole bunch of other things that come into effect with these bigger tracks. And so I just wanted to get a feel for it. And when we aligned ourselves with Mainely Motorsports, definitely felt confident going into the weekend that I was going to be able to learn a lot, and that we were going to be running in the top 5, no problem. But as far as winning the race, I can't say I was speechless, but everything really worked into our favor during the race. The car was awesome, and we made smart adjustments all weekend. Since we unloaded and we were, I think we went to P1 on the board, and practiced pretty conservatively and qualified conservatively. conservatively. But even qualifying second, I knew that I always usually race better than I qualify. So that told me a lot about how the race was going to go, actually.
Yeah, and you drove a smart race, and you put yourself in position. None of those bad positions. Where some guys making their first start and trying to impress people can have a tendency to do. And you kind of found a spot and you rode, and you raced when it was time to race.
Yeah, and that's pretty important as far as you want to finish on the lead lap. You want to finish with all four fenders on the car, not caved in. Tracks like this, like I said, the air is so important. So finishing the race is number one when you're trying to gain experience, finishing all the laps. But, we were in a position to race for a win at the last restart, and that's all you can ask for. And everybody did a good job. Like I said, Mainely Motorsports is well known for putting out really, really fast race cars in the ARCA series. So I was really confident going into the weekend, and as well as the last restart, I told myself, well, we raced a pretty conservative race up to this point, and even starting on the high side after one of the guys blew the motor getting into turn one, they had put some speedy dry down, and Spotter and the crew chief came on the radio and said, let's go for the win here. We'll see what happens. And just drove it down in the corner, and speedy dry, and the oil didn't really affect us too bad. And came out of turn two with my fender right in front of his right rear quarter, and got a really good side draft down the back straightaway, and was able to clear him going into turn three. And once we got the clean air, which was really important, that's one of those deals where you don't understand it until you race at one of these big tracks, how important the air is. So once we were able to get clear, it was really almost lights out. The car just really came to life, and we pulled away and had a pretty comfortable lead towards the end. So really excited about that too.
Yeah, and it's funny to hear you talk about the side draft, the clean air. These are things that racing the short tracks up here in New England that you've grown up on that you don't really hear much about. But now at this level, it plays such a major role. And how has the learning of that been for you? Is it is something that you're able to kind of adapt to fairly easy, or obviously you end up in victory lane at the ARCA race, so it has to be coming to you.
Yeah, it's a learning process. I don't ever think you learn it in one day or one race. I've been fortunate to be able to ask drivers. Been around some pretty good drivers lately, and been able to ask these guys what to expect and watch videos and all that stuff. But it's almost trial and error, and you don't want to be the one that makes a mistake, and you don't want to be the one that drives in under a guy and get loose and take some cars out. But you see it on Saturday, like today. We saw it in the Nationwide Series. It happens, and you just don't want to be that guy. But sometimes it just comes down to maybe putting yourself in a position where you don't wreck the car, but you say, "Holy cow! I just put myself in a bad situation here," and learn from it and move forward.
Yeah, no, but that's good. But we want to congratulate you and everybody in your organization. I mean, obviously you're the front man of Austin Terrio Racing, but if it wasn't for those parents, Steve and Terry, being behind you the whole step of the way, and then some other people that have jumped on board, you wouldn't have the opportunities that you're getting and taking advantage of. So, congratulations to you. We look forward to following you into your next big venture, which is coming up right here locally at Loudon, July 12th, as you get your second run in the 5-car for Junior Motorsports. So, this has got to even build a little bit more excitement and momentum for you, as well as confidence going into that race.
Yeah, it is a confidence booster, but you always want to approach every race as if you wipe the slate clean and just attack every weekend like it's your last race. And like you said, it's gonna boost everybody's confidence, I think, on my team. But I've been blown out before, so I got a few laps there, and we're looking to close out the deal. In Iowa, we were running in the top 10, couldn't close out a deal, but really excited about Loudon, and really excited about running in the top 10 and finally being able to get that finish.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure you will, Austin. And I'll tell you, and if anybody ever questions how much this state pulls for you, if you were following the social media, obviously you weren't. You weren't following anybody. You were leading the pack. But the social media up here in the state of Maine was blowing up yesterday about the race, your great qualifying effort when the race was starting, and then all the congrats to you and after. So that's got to be a great feeling for you. I talked to Archie last night, and who owns the 32 Cup team, and I said, you Archie and Austin, I mean, really, you got a whole state pulling for you guys. You guys are the, our connection to that world down there, and then you throw in Derek Nealon, who's spots for Kyle Larson. So, the three of you guys, it's just been phenomenal for all of us to follow along with your careers and what you guys have got going on in here in 2014.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, I talked to Archie this morning, and we actually talked about that a little bit, how exciting it is for the state right now, and to be able to be a part of it is really exciting, and it's an honor. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of guys that have come up through and been successful, but I'm just another guy that's trying to work hard and make it. Yeah, and you, I think you're well on your way, Austin. So congratulations to you and everybody involved there for your win at the ARCA race this past weekend at Michigan, and good luck in your next race, and we'll stay in touch, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you before you hit the track at Loudon. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Have a great week, and anxious to be on the show again. All right. Thank you. That's the winner of this past weekend's ARCA race over at Michigan, Austin Terrio.
You have a look of disbelief, Austin. Why?
Well, I knew we had saved a little bit for the end of the race. Car ahead of us was going really hard at the beginning, and I just wanted to feel it out. I mean, this is all new to me, and I didn't want to tear up a good piece. That's why we were conservative qualifying, and we just rode around for about half the race. And I figured on that last restart, he probably thought there was going to be oil out there and it was going to affect the race car. But I just said, hey, we're going for the win, and these guys deserve it. So I just held it wide open through 1 and 2, and we came out with the lead. So I'm really proud of all the Venturini Motorsports guys, and couldn't be happier. I appreciate it.
Now, okay, here comes the kiss from Big Bill. This is a tradition from Andy Granatelli, fellow Chicagoan.
I did not grow up in the car business. I started as a technician in a small garage, and now lucky enough to own my own dealership. I think buying a new car should be hassle-free with pricing up front. We like to negotiate with everyone the same way. Our goal is for our customers to feel good and make it easy and quick if they so desire. We pay our sales staff to help satisfy your needs, not to collect a traditional commission.
Southern Maine Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Maine's only Viper dealer, Route 1, Saco.
Award season event is going on now.
Hi, I'm Scott from Scott's Recreation. We've already sold over 150 campers this year. If you visited one of our stores and we didn't get to you, I apologize. We've been really busy. We still have over 200 units in stock with savings up to $10,000 on new 2014 travel trailers, up to $25,000 on new 2014 fifth wheels and toy haulers, and new motorhomes starting at just $59,000. Huge selection, low prices, easy financing.
Scott's Recreation, Turner and Manchester, Maine.
For a trusted name in residential and commercial site work in the Southern Maine area, call Peter Pettit Excavating. We can handle everything from the complete house lot to those nasty water and sewer line repairs. Septic systems are another area that we specialize in. During the snow season, Pettit Excavating has the equipment to handle any size job.
And when the race season arrives, be sure to follow the number 7 Hewitt's Family Restaurant Chevrolet on the past Super Late Model Tour.
Call 207-282-9305 to get the job done right. That's Peter Pettit Excavating.
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Mainely Saloon, Route 1 in Arundel. Stop by and see why me and my friends say, who has more fun than us? We do.
Clark's Car Crushing, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid.
Award Champs LLC is Southern Maine's premier award supplier and official award supplier for many of the area's top organization and events. If you're in need of an award for a sponsor, employee recognition, fundraising event, or an entire sports organization, call Todd Mead at Award Champ. They provide the best for less with competitive pricing like the big online firms, but give you the personalized service you can only get from a local supplier. When you're in need of awards or personalized gifts, call Award Champs, where they'll help you reward your champion.
We've got the car you've been looking for at OT Motor Sales. Shop online at otmotorsales.com.
Not sure what brand tire to buy? Town Fair Tire has them all. Michelin, Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Pirelli, Toyo, Yokohama, Hankook, and more. No matter what size or brand, Town Fair Tire beats all the competition, even online prices. We'll also do a free front wheel alignment with any tire purchase. Name brand tires, the lowest prices, free alignment. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is qualifying round number 1.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems. Even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 9 locations in Maine.
Looking for a great time, great people, and great food? Then visit New England's #1 biker destination, Bentley's Saloon, owned by legendary super-modified driver Bentley Warren. Bentley's is a biker bar that welcomes everyone. Staying in the area, Bentley's has their own full-service campground right on site. Tuesdays, Bentley's Cruise Night attracts car enthusiasts from all over New England. Located on Route 1 in Arundel, Bentley's Saloon guarantees a great time. Check out the fun at BentleySaloon.com and see why Bentley says, who has more fun than us?
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Scotch Recreation. Whether you're thinking about your first camper or looking to upgrade your current one, Scotch Recreation can help you. Get both our Route 202 Manchester and our Route 4 Turner locations and online at scotchrecreation.com.
LKQ Core. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
When you're in need of awards or personalized gifts, call Award Champs, where they'll help you reward your champion.
And they asked me for one more request. They wanted to get this race going tonight with this little saying of their own.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
climbing up now. He can hear you. How about a round of applause? Car number 73, John McKennedy! 2014 SBM 125 champion at the Star Speedway. Coming home third tonight, a great run at the end there. How about a round of applause for former Weekly Star modified driver, car number 99, Richard Savory. Richard, you made it exciting there at the end. You came up through the field. You come home third in this SBM 125 tonight. Tell us about your run and how this feels to come home third tonight.
It does feel good to come home third here at a track. It was my home track for last couple of years. Now we ventured out. We're doing a little Valente modified racing. We pitted with a bunch of guys. My crew did a great job. I beat most of them all out of the pits. Everybody that was, beat a bunch of guys out that were in front of us. But then I got boxed in there, and everybody that I beat out went by me. So then we had to just go one by one. And at the end, I don't think I probably had nothing for John, but I think we were probably the second best car still running on the track.
Great run it was. I'm sure he has some people he'd like to thank tonight in third place, Victorian.
Yes, absolutely. The alloy wheels repair, Pioneer wheel repair, Pine Hill Service, George and Ken's Collision. And the guys that make this happen, Joey Kravis and the crew that comes every week, Holstein Roofing, they just came on board, and without them, we wouldn't be doing any of this. So it's hats off to them. They gave me a great car, great pit stop, and I just did what I had to do.
All right, third place in the SBM 125 2014, car number 99, Richard Savory. And coming home second, the second year in a row, how about a big round of applause, car number 06, Les Hinckley. Les looked like the car went away on you at the end there, but you come home second again. A great run for one of your first outings of the year. Tell us about your run and tell us about how you ended up second tonight.
Yeah, we just, when that last caution came out, I didn't want to admit it, but I had a pretty good feeling the right rear had had enough. We didn't qualify very well today. We were good in practice, and then we just didn't pick up any speed with new tires, and kind of put ourselves in a box where we had to do something different with our pit strategy, and pitted a little bit earlier than some other guys, and just ran out of right rear at the end. I mean, if it stayed green those last 6 laps, I think we would have been pretty good, but every caution that we had, the right rear got worse in the restarts, and I knew John had a better right rear, and John's pretty good here too, so congratulations to him. I want to say hi to my kid at home. I miss him.
All right, a lot of people you'd like to thank tonight for your good run.
Yeah, Four Seasons Refrigeration, the Wheel Shop, Cliff Nelson Motorsports, all the fans, the Weber family, Kevin Rice, Long Island Maniac, the racing guys, my team, Bob Bruno, Kenny Berry from Spafco, all my guys, my wife, my father, everybody that's here. Chuck Montville, we still haven't got a win for him. We're going to get it soon enough. So can't thank these people enough for having this race. Can't thank the racing community enough for the support they've given me the past couple months with all that's going on with my son and my family, and we'll be eternally grateful for that.
All right, well, we wish him the best. He comes home second tonight. One more time, car number 06, Les Hinckley. And your winner tonight in the 2014 edition of the SBM 125. Big round of applause for car number 73, John McKennedy. John is a fan that grew up at the Star Speedway, the Lee Speedway. We've all seen you win in multiple race cars. You come home first tonight. It's got to be a great feeling at pretty much your home track. Tell us how this one feels.
It feels great. The guys in this car worked their ass off today. I was complaining a lot. I wasn't happy with the car. We changed springs, roll centers, just everything we could to make the car better. And I told my spotter, Russ Hersey, about 20 laps in, I said, we got a race car here. And everything just worked out. I knew we had a good enough car to win. I prayed I didn't get in any trouble, and everything just worked out. I thank all the fans for coming out. It's a great night. I love racing here. To win this race is pretty special. To say I beat 30 of the best modifieds in the Northeast is pretty cool, and some great competition. It wasn't easy. Those last 30 laps was probably some of the hardest I drove in a long time. And it feels great to win. I want to thank all my sponsors: Exit Realty Insurance, LH Wheeler Trucking, Power Miss Racing Fuels, Tower News, Independent Wheels, Raceworks, building me a great chassis, Performance Technology Racing Engines. All these people make it possible, and my crew, of course.
All right, we'll be expecting him another big race later on in the year at the Star Classic, but your winner tonight in the SBM 125, John McKennedy in the 73.
Bob Weber. Ready.
Down here, John meeting with Bob Weber Sr. down here. Bob Weber Sr. congratulating him. John grew up racing here, cut his teeth here at the Star Speedway, and Bob Weber had a big part of his racing career here at Star. It's great to see these two come together down here in Victory Lane.
Get the right car at the right price. OTMotorsales.com.
Not sure what brand tire to buy? Town Fair Tire has them all. Michelin, Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Pirelli, Toyo, Yokohama, Hankook, and more. No matter what size or brand, Town Fair Tire beats all the competition, even online prices. We'll also do a free front wheel alignment with any tire purchase. Name brand tires, the lowest prices, free alignment. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Yeah, one step at a time, don't be living on the line. I don't need a friend, I got more than on the mind. Sunshine in my brain, making everyone complain. Radio in the heart, don't be being so strange. Think I'm losing it, baby, where have you been? Everybody says that you're moving again. I don't wanna be right, baby, every single night. I can tell you a thing about taking your time. It's making me nervous,
For car number 36, Jay Sands, your winner tonight in the Allen's Outlaws.
Top three. Good job, man.
Top show.